Oil is a consistently divisive topic in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's oil and gas producers provide 1 in 6 jobs and 22% of the state revenue. But could Oklahoma's largest industry also be dividing fault lines? Oklahoma Geological Survey Director Jeremy Boak says it is.
Our interpretation is that these earthquakes are caused by an injection of very large volumes of wastewater, produced water from oil and gas operations, into a deep horizon. That deep horizon becomes slightly pressurized, and then that pressure is transmitted through a network of fractures down into still deeper parts of the crust, into the deep crystalline basement of Oklahoma.
Before 2008, Oklahoma had 1 to 2 earthquakes per year. Since, thousands of earthquakes have bombarded the Sooner State. Oklahoma Corporation Commission's Matt Skinner said the wastewater injection was connected to a new oil play.
And then suddenly, because of the development of what was called the Mississippi Line play, here comes these big disposal wells that they never had before. And sure enough, their seismicity rate came up.
This was spawned by the development of horizontal drilling, or hydraulic fracturing.
What horizontal drilling did was make it possible to produce all the oil that's in a shale formation. But in Oklahoma, those formations contain massive amounts of water, huge amounts. And this is water that's been tucked away for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
So these were producing sometimes 10, 15, 20, 25 barrels of water for every barrel of oil they produce.
That water is the ancient seawater that is rested with the oil and gas underground. It's completely toxic.
So this is not stuff you want sitting around on the surface.
So they disposed of it in the way that we've been doing it for decades, and in many ways that's probably the best thing to do with it.
That disposal increased in alarming rates after 2009, corresponding to a dramatic rise in earthquakes, but Corporation Commission directives and a drop in oil prices have caused injection to lower significantly. Only 300 earthquakes are expected this year compared to 900 in 2015.
It's good to have it reducing, but we're constantly paying attention to say, gee, is there more that the Corporation Commission needs to do? Is there some additional benefit that could come from further reductions? Because we're already down to levels that kind of match, the injection is down to levels that match 2012 levels when the seismicity was much lower. And so it's a question, do we have to go further down or not?
The OCC monitors wells and seismicity daily, when regulatory managers such as Philip Bailey check data for any abnormalities.
In which case we use USGS data and OGS data, Oklahoma Geological Survey data. And then we also have some tools in our pocket to use to look both at earthquakes and at injection that's happened in the last week or longer.
Monthly earthquake rates are leveling off rather than decreasing, so extra reductions might be necessary. But Skinner says oil's money is not the priority.
There's a lot of positives, but the ultimate positive, the only thing that matters in the end, is whether or not there's an earthquake by your house. And if there is, and believe me, I know because I lived in Guthrie, that then it's not good enough, obviously.
Earthquakes will continue for some time, but Boak said the OGS will remain on the case.
We'll be watching. We'll also be trying to convince people that it's worth investing in understanding how far do we have to go? What else has to be done?
All the while, Oklahoma remains a shaken state.